Welcome back to part 2 of a great conversation with Paul Johnson and myself, and we're pretty jazzed about this topic. I know that's kind of sick, but...
No, it's not sick, because I think that it's such an important thing to talk about.
I do too.
You know, because I think that most everyone experiences the effects of shame in some way or another. Last week we talked about shame. We talked about, some of the things that contribute to the way that we view life and the things, the experiences that we have in life. Mm-hmm. And we really zeroed in on this topic of shame. And I think that it's something that we all feel and experience, but we don't talk about very often.
No, that's part of almost what would be shameful. Who's going to say, I feel shame?
Around
period.
This.
Or whatever. Like, we don't walk around saying, that's one of the emotions I'm feeling these days.
Right.
And yet that actually takes us right into one of the things we want to talk about, which is what can we do differently when we are experiencing shame? Mm-hmm. And I think that, being able to have more resources, more skills, knowing what to do differently is key. And my parents would have had no idea if you'd asked them, about this. And so I think almost no one grows up knowing these things. Yeah. So it's a really powerful piece. And again, gratitude to Brene Brown for really bringing this forward. And we hope through this conversation today to take it even one step further than what she's actually, gone with in terms of daring greatly. So let's go back to, what do you do when you do feel shame? And she offers really 3 things, but I think it's 4 or 5. The very first thing that I was so struck with is to be able to internally acknowledge the pain, the ouch. Yeah. And she's as explicit as just literally saying the word pain. Pain, pain, pain. It's like sensor alert, sensor alert. I just felt pain. Right. Or ouch, or whatever word works for you. But let yourself acknowledge that your system...
And that's not a natural thing, because our natural response to feeling pain is to pull away.
That's right.
The hot stove, hitting ourselves with a hammer, whatever it is, we want to pull away to stop the pain.
And say, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. No, it's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And so, dealing with that emotional pain that is a part of the shame piece, I think that the natural reaction that we have is, when we even become aware of it, just, we're going to go in the other direction. Yeah. And we're not going to even acknowledge it. Pain, pain, pain. Yeah. We're not even going to acknowledge it, because our survival tendency is to shy away from it, rather than to dive into it and look at it.
And I would say we can learn this, because I've been practicing just becoming more aware, and just the first step. Ouch, pain, whatever. I felt something. Okay, give yourself permission to acknowledge you felt something that didn't even necessarily have thoughts attached to it. Right. Because you've often talked to me about, Lynn, I just have a feeling. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm thinking. Yeah,
it doesn't seem to be attached to a thought. It's just a feeling.
Right. But the wiring is already laid down, so it's lightning fast.
And it happens so quickly you don't even notice it.
Yeah. But we do notice the ouch.
Yeah.
The pain. So step 1, just give yourself permission to say pain, acknowledge the pain, say that there's an ouch internally. Mm-hmm. The second is that she recommends is to not withdraw, but to go to somebody you trust and just acknowledge thoughts and feelings. Right. This is what I'm feeling. It's not about fixing it at this moment. Right. It's just, oh my God, Paul, I think I have just totally put my foot in it.
Yeah, it's almost like having a witness, isn't it?
Yeah,
in some ways,
but the witness as in a friend. It's just, I'm calling you because you know and care about me and believe in my goodness.
Right, and can hold a safe space for you to kind of unpack that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So just letting yourself reach out and restabilize is how I would say what she's talking about.
And that's part of vulnerability, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. the willingness to do that, but it's also part of what builds resilience because I connect versus disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back to Dr. Glasser's needs that we've talked a lot on the blogs, belonging is so important to us.
Yes.
Feeling like I don't fit, I don't belong, I've done something that moves me out of good connection.
Or disqualifies me in some way, or separates me in some way. Yeah.
Very painful.
Yeah.
So when I reach out to somebody that I know and just say, I just need to tell you, I just need you to listen, I just need to say what happened and how I'm feeling. Okay. Her third step is to really look at how you're talking to yourself. After you've had a chance to just share and so on, the next piece of what we do in our heads is so critical. And you alluded to it last time.
Yeah.
That inner voice,
Yeah.
whether it goes to critic, judge,
Yeah.
you know, or worse.
Or just yammer away about it. You know, we've both been reading Michael Singer recently.
Yes.
You know, the surrender experiment.
Yep.
You know, and he talks so much, and even in his first book, he talks so much about the voice.
Yeah.
The voice in our head.
Yeah, he does a magnificent job in his first book called The Untethered Soul.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you haven't read that, it's a great, easy read and starts with, have you ever noticed that voice in your head? So if this is new to you, it's a lovely one to start with.
Yeah.
But let's start talking to ourselves the way we would to a friend. With the kindness, with the willingness to, you can screw up, make a mistake, do something dreadful.
Yeah.
It does not cancel your value and worth.
Yeah. You know, and that just makes me think it's so interesting that often we are so much harder on ourselves than anybody else is going to be on us.
Yeah.
You know, we rip ourselves apart so quickly and so easily.
Yeah. So that's a big step, I think, retraining ourselves not to be judge and jury and convict ourselves.
Yeah. An executioner.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of things we could talk about in terms of that, but let's just cover the territory. And then what she offers is the crucial willingness to own what you've done, own the experience, the story, if you like, whatever. Just being able to own it allows you then to move forward. If you hide it, if you deny what happened, if you start playing and manipulating with it in your mind to make it okay, when you already know it isn't okay because you've had the big feeling that went, ow. So own what happened in order to, what I would say the next step is move forward into action.
Okay.
And I think the key there is to speak. To say, you know, this feels like this and this to me. I feel like I'm being shamed for my opinion or for my this or for my that.
And that's part of the identification or identifying it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the next step in identifying it. The first step is an internal identifying.
That's
And then
right.
the second step is kind of the external. This is what I'm feeling.
Right. So having practiced this a little bit, what I've really noticed is when I can take that last step, I'm really much more able to let the whole thing go. It's like it settles into the general category of experiences that I've actually assimilated. I've been able to process or digest. It's not standing out like a hurt thumb, a sore point. I go back to it and I get caught in the loop again, and it just doesn't go away.
Yeah, and a part of that is that it brings it out of the darkness into the light, and there's all kinds of parallelism there, but it brings it out into the light, and it's no longer the deep, dark, nasty secret. It's something that we bring out, we acknowledge it for what it is, and as we do that, there's this wonderful ability to some extent just to be able to let that go and to let it be.
Yeah. Now, as we're talking, I recognize that, you know, both of us are very much embodying the whole perspective that who you authentically are is absolutely whole and uncontaminatable, if you like. I'm sure there's a more magnificent word, but the core essence of who we are cannot be diminished.
I use the term undefiled and undefilable.
Thank you. Those are beautiful words.
Yeah.
We're coming from that place because we know that that's really the truth for every single human being of what is at the core essence. And I think that's what excites us about doing the work with Prime Potential, because we can clear the backlog of stuff for people, and we have somewhere else to take them to, in a sense, to show them that core essence of who they are.
Exactly.
You know, the two parts are crucial. One thing is clearing, but what are you stepping into, reconnecting with, re-remembering?
Yeah. It's not just simply putting a Band-Aid on something.
No.
It's really, separating the two and experiencing what it means to stand in that purity of essence where there's nothing wrong. And as a matter of fact, not only is there nothing wrong, but everything is right.
Yes, exactly. And again, the feeling of all of our psychological needs being met.
Yeah.
Feeling free to be who we are, feeling empowered and valued for who and what we are, that's intrinsic. Feeling connected, lovable and loving. And the whole mixture of the psychological needs.
Having the freedom to express
Yeah.
the wonder of who we are, as individuals, because we each bring something to life that is so incredibly brilliant and valuable.
And I think that's the piece that touches my heart, is for the future generations. My deepest wish, as you and I have talked, and yours, is could we please start raising generations who know that about themselves, the wholeness, the intrinsic, the undefilableness, and start nurturing that in children and teenagers and so forth. I think that's so important for our society to continue to grow and evolve.
Yeah.
So we'd like people to let us know what you thought of this two-part series, the questions you have, the comments. Did it resonate for you? Is there wonderings? Just be in touch with us through...
Yeah, and I think that it would be great if folks would really be in conversation with us. We've just barely scratched the surface. I know that both you and I feel like we could go on, for days, and sometimes we do, but go on for a long time talking about this particular issue. And I think that this is such an important thing to talk about.
Yeah.
And so, whatever it is that you have in terms of questions, in terms of things you'd like to join in the conversation about, the things you'd like us to talk about and explore a little bit. We would love to hear those things, because it helps to further the conversation and further the work that we're doing. So it's an honest invitation to really to join the conversation, and let's take it further.
The other, I know, I'm not as tech savvy in some areas, but lots of people have said to me, oh, I love it, and I told my friend, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to send this on, please do, and have people check in, log in, so that we can send directly the links to the blogs every week when they come out. So.
Right. And so, share it on social media, sign up for our newsletter so that we can keep in contact and keep you posted on what's going on around here, and share it and comment and ask questions and be part of what's going on.
All right, that's it for today. We look forward to you joining us in May and see what we're up to then.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye for now.